Good morning and welcome back, tea drinking pussies of Britain, ladies, gents and Pikachus of the world. I'm going to talk a little more about Islam. In particular, we're going to talk about Dawah. How does Dawah work? Why do they pick particular people? And what is the plan to make that person into a subjugated slave of Allah, willingly or unknowingly? So to begin with, what they do, they know. In order to get to a person, kind of like how the communists do it in the art of war, is you separate them from their allies and you get them while their back is turned, and then they're defenseless. You will definitely win if you do that. So how does a Dawah Muslim separate you, a normal person, atheist or a Christian, from your friends and your allies? Well, the first thing they do is they butter you up. They agree with you. They tell you you're fantastic. They tell you all your friends and family are wrong, your church is wrong, your employer and your mother and father are wrong. They're all bad people. They just don't understand you. You're right. Everything you say is right. And in doing so, they make you warm to them because you think this person, they see me, they understand me. They don't. They're just telling you yes. They're just being a yes man to you. So once they've done that, they've put you in a position where you are now justified to say no and forget everyone's advice, and you're in an echo chamber with them. They're just going to tell you you're right, you're right, you're right, to separate you from everyone else. Then they progress it a bit further and they say these people are actually bad for you. You shouldn't speak to them anymore. You know, your mum and dad, they're like narcissistic, evil bullies. You know, you shouldn't speak to them. The more you speak to them, the worse they're going to get. Just never speak to them again. You don't need to, you've got me. Then they say, your friends, they don't really have your best interest at heart. They're just thinking about themselves. You know, when they're saying that you're wrong, they're only doing that because they want you to agree with them. First clue, hang on, isn't that what you're doing to me, O Dawah Muslim? But you're saying they're doing it. So they're using mirroring. They're putting a situation on you and then they're blaming it on everyone else to make you come towards them. It's also in the art of war. So once they have done that and they've separated you from everyone that you know, now you have no allies, you're going to feel alone. But you won't notice it because you got them. They're patting you on the head telling you how right you are all the time. So once they've got rid of all your allies, you're no longer in touch with your church, you've fallen out with your family, you've fallen out with your friends. Who are you going to go to for friendly advice and validation? Well, you're obviously going to go back to your echo chamber that you've newly created with your Muslim friend. Because why wouldn't you? They've agreed with everything. They know you, remember? They see you. They understand you. They definitely got your best interests at heart. Definitely not an ulterior motive for them to be doing Dawah on you, atheist or Christian. So, now the scene is set for them to really go in hard with the Dawah message. And remember, the Dawah message doesn't necessarily mean you have to know that you're agreeing with Islam. They're just going to position you to make the choice that everything else is bad and wrong. And then the only option you're going to have left is agreeing with them when they lie to you and they tell you Islam is all the things you ever dreamed of. But we know if we read the Quran, this is actually in itself a lie. For instance, as we went through the other day, Quran Surah 5 verse 51 says, O ye Muslim, you must never take Jews or Christians as friends or associates, for they are allies of one another. Allah does not lead the unjust, unrighteous, those who do not believe in him. They will be sent to the evil fire by the Muslims. So that's one example of the many why if a Muslim is telling you they're your friend, you know they're not your friend. You are a Dawah target for them. They're trying to convert you into a subjugated slave of Allah. Now remember, you don't have to be a Muslim to be a subjugated slave of Allah. You're just not anything else. So they take you away from your church, your family, your politics. And the way they're doing that isn't by preaching you the Quran directly. Maybe they don't know the Quran directly. The way they're doing that is by closing the doors and windows to everybody else and every other type of politic or faith thought until you're in a room with them. And then they've got you. You're a captive audience. And they're still going to be telling you, you're right, you're great, you're beautiful, you're smart, you're powerful, you're doing everything correctly. You're such a lovely person. And that's the final thing. This is the most important thing. They will say to you, the reason you can say no to your friends and family, your church, and everything you knew, turn your back on your life that you were happily living, and say yes to this new thing, is because you have a good heart. You had a bad heart before. That's the only reason all this stuff is affecting you. All these people have a bad heart. They're all bad, evil-intentioned people. Which is Quran, because we know good-intentioned people are all Muslims in the Quran. All these guys over here, non-Muslims, the Kufir, by nature of Allah creating them with evil souls and then misleading them to not be Muslims, that's what they think. That means they're bad, evil people, but you're different. You're not like them. Why are you not like them? Because you have a good heart. So, how do you know if you have a good heart? What's the barometer? What's the litmus test for you having a good heart? Is it that you love everybody? Maybe. But do you? And this is one thing that a lot of Christians will get wrong. Having a good heart does not mean loving everyone. There are so many people that think that incorrectly. We know from our Bibles, if we study them, the Lord says to us, there are certain people that we do not treat with love, that we do not pray for, that we avoid and we mark out as being malevolent, evil people. These are the workers of iniquity, the followers of the doctrines of devils. I think it's Romans and in Corinthians and Galatians. So that's talking about Muslims doing Dawah. That's why you're marking them out. Once they're marked out, that's them marked forever. Because that is their doctrine, the doctrines of devils, which they are using to separate you from all the good in your life and pull you away from it to make you a slave subjugated to Allah, whether you know it or not. And that is when you will start to find misery. So, you could try this for yourself if you have a Muslim friend who has been advising you to leave behind your friends and your family, turn your back on everything. How much more miserable are you in a month, in 2 months, when you have no job because you fell out with your employer, you have no church because you fell out with your church, you have no family because you fell out with them, and you don't speak to your friends because they didn't agree with you, and the only place you can go for validation, for agreement, is the echo chamber built by the Muslim. So that's how Dawah works. So, in conclusion, be very careful of these guys. Obviously, they are using permissible lies, taqiyya, to try and trick you. And it's not for your own benefit, it's not even for their own benefit. They are doing a service to Allah to try and pay off the debt that they were born into via the great injustice of their birth to Allah. That's the reason they're doing that. They don't get anything out of it, they owe one to Allah for being born. And the way that they can partly pay that off is by separating you from Christianity, family and friends. And I really hope that you figure out these guys are not your friends. Like Quran Surah 551 says, they are not allowed to be your friends or associates and also call themselves Muslim. So they won't. So that's the end of it for now. Hope you enjoyed that and you learnt something. God bless you all. And I'll see you lovely people in the next one. Bye now. So, in conclusion, be wary, wise as wolves, but innocent as doves. And know that these guys, they're just going through the motions. They've done this a million times before with people just like you. So, be on the lookout for that. God bless you all. And I'll see you lovely people in the next one. Bye.